6 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thanks for our guests being back today. And I'm going to follow up with, and I want to correct as well too. I was using a term overturn last time, which was incorrect. So I stand to be corrected, and did so. I appreciate that. What I was really looking at was the kind of the meddling is the word I should have used, and it's with regards to the CRTC's decision. And then it also resolves a statement from the Governor and Council, which said, whereas in considering the petitions and all the information and advice received with respect to them, the Governor and Council considers that a final rate set by the decision do not, and in all circumstances, appropriately balance the objectives of the wholesale service frameworks recognized in Order on Council PC 2016-332 of May 10th, 2016, and that they will, in some instances, undermine investment in high-quality networks. So I guess my question from that is, what is the department's kind of response to that taking place, and we've seen some market changes related to that.
Madam Chair, I think I'm happy to provide talk sort of generally about this issue of balancing, as the minister discussed. I won't add any kind of color commentary to the Governor and Council statement, because it's, I think the statement obviously stands on its own, and the CRTC is undertaking a kind of its own reconsideration, if you like, of the matter. But I think in terms of balancing, I mean, certainly, as a department, we are obviously seized of the issue of affordability. We have a variety of programs to support affordability. We want to make sure that Canadians, no matter where they live, get access to high-speed internet. We certainly understand that this is a very, very important service to be made available. With regard to wholesale internet rates, if I just kind of generalize, the issue is that, well, of course, you want to have rates that kind of are affordable, and you want to have rates that that people can they'll be able to get access to the service. There continues to be a question of areas of the country where there is either no service built out yet, and so you need a facilities-based provider to actually go in there and lay fiber, or actually build out service, like the actual capital investment to actually build the network. And there are areas where, and one of the honorable members mentioned earlier about reliability, where you have areas where you have a network and you need to make investments to maintain the network and upgrade it. And so there is, I guess I would say, generally a concern that we make sure that the wholesale rates are such that they achieve the affordability objective, but also that they don't inadvertently discourage the continued maintenance of the existing network, so that it falls further and further behind because the business case to maintain it is perhaps not there, or that it discourages the build out into areas where there is no service. And so this is not an abstract issue. If I was to be absurd, if you set the rates at at zero, there'd be zero incentive to build up the network. So balancing.
Right, but what the decision spoke to, though, was the rates in competition in urban and suburban areas, but this is conflating that to like rural and remote. So how is that justified in terms of a preamble like that that's confused the market? It led to some alterations, and then it related to suburban and urban capacity, but now it's being attempted to be bridged to rural and remote. I don't see the benefit to consumers for competition and affordability.
I think we're going to wait to see what the CRTC does in its reconsideration of the matter. But as I say, I think the GIC's statement probably has to stand on its own.
Okay, that's fair enough, and thank you for that. I do want to move to auto policy. How much is left in the auto? There used to be a separate auto innovation fund that was merged to the larger fund. How much of that fund is left for auto investments? There have been some progressions, most thankful to Unifor in contract negotiations that have secured more investment. Unfortunately, Canada is still one of those countries without a national auto policy, especially during almost a platinum age of auto as we move to green and clean and more competition. You look at Detroit right across where I'm at, where they've had upwards of $12 billion in investment, and we've had far less than that. But how much is left in the funds from the commitments that have most recently been made? Do we have those numbers, perhaps?
Madam Chair, I don't have the specific numbers available. I mean, what I can say is I think that, we're in active discussion with the automotive companies. The government is clearly committed to the future of the automotive sector. I think that message has been given loud and clear. But in terms of the specifics that are currently in the fund, I don't have those available.
Yeah, could you get? I'd be interested in that because I know it's been amalgamated with other funds, and then there have been a series of other announcements too, even some aerospace, and so getting an updated version of what's there and would be very helpful. With that too is in terms of innovation for the monies available for the hybrids and the other things. I had fought to get the Windsor minivan included in the $300 million program for auto incentives. Do we know what money is left in that fund? It was for 3 years at $100 million. And can we get a breakdown as to what vehicles were purchased and with those funds and what's available still?
Unfortunately, yes, you are out of time. I'm not sure if it's possible. Perhaps you can maybe circulate that information to the clerk, who can circulate it to the committee.
I can follow up on that.
Thank you,